Hi guys, I'm super excited to be interviewing my mentor, my friend of 4 years. She has inspired me with her story, so I'm so excited to have you guys hear exactly about her journey and everything she's been doing in social marketing. So Lital, this is Lital Mintz-Snir. If you want to start with, what you were doing before you started your own business and what was your driving force to even jump into social marketing?
Amazing. Thank you, first of all, so much for asking me to be a part of this. I feel honored, and you know how much you have inspired and empowered me throughout these 4 years, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. So, a little bit about myself. Wow, where do I start? So, I went to school, I graduated for marketing, and found a job in a completely different field. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. And my 1 to 2 year plan ended up becoming a 10-year plan. And by year 10, I just felt unfulfilled. And that's when Arbonne, which is a social marketing company that I'm with, entered my life. I will not say that I was looking for it because I feel like it fell onto my lap. I was invited to an event. And I was one of those people that had a very big ego, and I thought it was way too cool to ever attend this event. But there was something in me that made me actually take a look at it. And for the first time ever, I can say that I was a little bit open, a little bit more open than I used to be. And I heard about the business, I heard about the product, I was super intrigued. I investigated everything I needed to investigate. And after doing my own research and really learning about the network marketing or social marketing profession, and really studying, what it takes to grow a business and treating it like a business. And I can't tell you that I treat it like a business from day one, but I would say probably within 6 months, I really did have that shift, the mindset shift, and flew with it. And I was one of those people that were super busy, right? Because how many times have we heard, I'm busy, I don't have time. I was definitely that person, right? But I truly believe that busy people get things done, and busy people are always in front of other people. And I mean, I was that person that had 3 kids under the age of 5 with a full-time job. And I always look at it as, someone like myself with my crazy hectic lifestyle and a corporate, 9 to 5 job, if I was able to build this side hustle next to my full-time career and create so much choice and possibilities, and I truly feel like anyone can.
Yeah. That's amazing. And for those of you guys that don't know, like Lital's at the top of the company. She's a executive national vice president. She's absolutely killing this business. Like, you inspire me so much. I truly believe, like, when I first started, the same with yourself, like, you weren't fully in it, but like your story and working next to you has really inspired me to, has motivated me to run with this, because I see what you're doing and I want your life. Like, I've watched you grow in this business, and it's inspired me to grow. So I love it. So how does your success, how does your life look now because of your success? Like, what has changed in the last 9 or 10 years of you doing this business?
Yeah. Oh gosh, so much has changed. And I don't want to just talk about the money part, because obviously the money is incredible. And, once you become a regional vice president with this company, you earn a white Mercedes Benz. And don't get me wrong, the car is amazing. And more so, the car represents teamwork and team effort. But there's so much more than the money. The people that I have been able to meet and surround myself with, the community, the successful positivity that has entered my life. I don't know about, again, if anyone can relate, but I was that person who kind of went to work and surrounded myself and noticed that I was around a lot of negative people who I felt were sucking the soul out of my life. So even just like, having these incredible humans who were complete strangers to me 10 years ago enter my life and add so much value to me, as I am able to also add so much value to them. That is a gift. So that's number one. being able to travel more, you know, the fact that I'm doing this with you right now. Right now, I'm in Miami. I had a few business meetings set up here, and I was like, you know what? I might as well make it business and pleasure. And it is March break right now. So I brought along the kids, the hubby, and we're just spending a week here in Miami. So being able to work this business remotely, that's something that is super cool from anywhere because it is an e-commerce business. Okay, I was able to travel to different countries and give back, which is insane to me because I've always been that person who, you know, donated every single month to different charities, specifically with sick kids. But, you know, a few years ago, I partnered up with a non-for-profit organization called Artbound, working specifically with kids and bringing arts and music to different cultures. And we actually went to Guatemala, where we were able to volunteer in orphanages there. And we went there during Christmas and we brought them so many gifts. And honestly, like a lot of the gifts and everything that we brought was raised through my social marketing community, right? A lot of it was through just that community and people really wanting to help and make a difference. And we were also able to build, donate, and deliver bunk beds to families who have never slept on a mattress before. I mean, they thanked me as if I was giving them $1 million. And to be able to have such an impact like that and still know that, you know, using Arbonne, my social marketing business, as a vehicle to be able to do things like that, where you're actually giving back hands-on, that has never mind it impacted their life tremendously. I feel like it impacted my life even more. And then a year later, I traveled to Nicaragua and we did something called where we were actually able to raise and donate $50,000, where we were able to build an additional classroom to a school that accommodated another 300 kids. And these are kids that would otherwise be into drugs, gangs, you know, on the streets. And again, like really making a true difference. And I hope, and my whole thing is that I hope I impacted just one person to do the same, where they would, you know, hopefully impact another person. And really it's all about paying it forward. So, and again, things like being, you know, mortgage free, things like having savings, like, you know, I've never had savings before, okay? 10 years ago when I started my Arbonne business, and I always say to people, you know, my iPhone cost me more money than starting my business. But 10 years ago, like zero savings. Like I had to buy a few products, not had to, I wanted to buy a few products, and I had to use 2 separate credit cards, and they were both my husband's. Do you know what I mean? So like obviously so much has changed.
That's so beautiful. I love that. It's very inspiring. Okay, so for those of you, like the people that don't actually know what social marketing is, like what is social marketing to you? Can you just like sum it up of what it is?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is that I didn't know what it was 10 years ago. I've never heard of network marketing or social marketing or even a side hustle. I've never heard that before. So for me, it was all brand new. So basically, a lot of us are very familiar with retail stores, right? We all go into a store and we pick up whatever it is that we want to pick up and we take it home. Basically, when you pick up whatever it is that you're getting, let's just use protein powder because I love our protein powder. I'm giving it a plug here. Okay, let's just say you're using protein powder, and that protein powder goes through a bunch of different channels before it gets to the consumer in retail. But specifically, advertising brings up the price so high, and we as consumers, we pay all those steps that are in retail. In social marketing, it goes directly from the manufacturer through the brand ambassador. So I'm considered a brand ambassador directly to the consumer. So basically what ends up happening is that we end up skipping all these different steps. And by skipping all those steps, the company, Arbonne, is able to save a lot of money. And all that money that is saved goes into a few different places. Like it goes back into the products, it goes back into research and development, and it goes back into the lucrative compensation plan. So basically, instead of Arbonne paying celebrities, for example, to say that they use Arbonne nutrition, we end up being the walkie-talking advertisement for our own brand. So again, the easiest, it's just a distribution system via word of mouth. And today we live in a recommendation society, and think about how many times, we recommend things that we love. So when we love something, we talk about it all the time. We don't even realize it. And when we don't love something, we talk about it all the time as well, right? So we recommend the good and the bad. So anytime we recommend, we're actually getting compensated and paid for it, which is really cool.
Amazing. Okay, and then also, what part of that? So what does a typical social marketer day look like? Like, especially.
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah.
I'm sure you do exactly what I'm doing at Area Manager, but how does your day, what does your day look like?
So obviously it's different as you move up in the company. I will tell you that. So in the beginning, when I first said yes to Arbonne, again, I took that leap of faith. I didn't really know too much about the industry or the profession, but I was willing to learn. And I think that's the key, willing to learn something new that is maybe something different than what we are programmed. Yeah. Right? Because my family programmed me a certain way, and we all are. And it's all out of love, and it's all what they knew. So in the beginning, I put in about 5 hours a week because I was working. Again, I do this and I still do this part-time, guys. Like, people are like, do you do full-time Arbonne? And I'm like, well, I invest in other businesses. I don't do anything else except like Arbonne work, but there is no full-time Arbonne, like, ever. Right? So I'm still doing my 10 to 20 hours a week, but I've just taught and trained a lot of people to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. So I basically duplicated myself. So I did about 5 hours a week the first 6 months. After 6 months, I fell in love with seriously how much fun it was. I fell in love with working with people, surrounding myself with all these incredible people, that I decided that I want to commit a little bit more to it. So that 5 hours a week ended up becoming about 10 hours a week. And today, it's been 10 to 20 hours a week already for the last, 10 years. So what does my day look like? I wake up in the morning, I have a ritual. I write a few things that I am grateful for the night before. I write my intentions for the next day. So I'm old school. I still use like a really old paper calendar as opposed to using my kids. I have teenagers and they make fun of me all the time. Okay. So, it's what works for me. I need to see my actual day, like actually see it. I need to tweak, write in some stuff. So that's what I do. So I make sure that my intentions are set for the next day, what I have planned for the next day. And I really work my own schedule. So I'll make I used to make more calls because people were really into using phones 10 years ago, believe it or not, like on the phone. Doesn't work anymore. Nobody picks up the phone. No. So today I reach out to people through whether it's through Instagram and build connections with people, whether it's through texting, whether it's through Messenger on Facebook, really just building connections and reconnecting with people that I align with and the people that would align with me. So I'll give you an example. Today I had, one meeting earlier in the morning. Right now I'm doing this interview with you, Kat, and then I have a 2 p.m. Zoom meeting one-on-one, and I'm pretty much done for the day. So I work it in within my script. I make sure to get my workouts in every single morning. And yes, I do work out 7 days a week by choice. I actually enjoy it. So I make sure I do that. I have my ritual with like my greens. Like we do this shot of greens every single morning. You know what it's all about. So I have my little ritual and I really stick to it. And it's what works for me and what aligns with me.
That's amazing. So a part of the typical working day, like I am all about morning routines. I truly believe that if you're going to be successful in life, you need to have a morning routine set up for yourself that really works for you. Do you have one thing in the morning that like you absolutely cannot leave the house without doing? Like it's your go-to, it's your everything. If you don't do it that day, your day is going to be a mess.
Yeah, there's a few actually. Like it's an actual like routine. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I will tell you that the first thing that I do is I write 3 things that I'm grateful for every single morning. I will not leave my bed without doing that. I actually sleep with a pen and paper beside my bed because sometimes I come up with like all these ideas and I'm like, oh my God, I need to write that down or else I'll forget. Okay. The second thing I do is I do run a 30 days to healthy living program online. So I do my posting for the day on that specific program because I don't start looking through social media at that point. I just want to make sure I post my post for the day so that when people wake up, they know what they're doing and they get inspired. And then I do my apple cider vinegar shot every morning, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years. Okay. And and it's just something that I love, how it makes me feel in terms like it regulates my, my mornings. It keeps everything regulated. It cleanses, it almost does like a little detox. There's so many benefits to organic apple cider, and that's kind of my morning, and the gym. And the gym. Yeah.
Okay, so to finish us off, if you could give one tip to everyone just starting off social marketing or wanting to get into it, what would be your tip for them?
Oh, wow. Somebody who's just starting off social marketing, I would say the number one tip is put your ego in your back pocket. And the reason why I say that is because I have seen that stop a lot of people from greatness because they're all in their own head. And my other like huge tip is mindset. Work on your mind, really dig a little bit deeper and work and really ask yourself, what are you feeding yourself? What stories are you creating? What stories do you want to recreate? Because we can retrain whatever it is that we're thinking, right? When you, again, surround yourself with amazing, positive people. And work on your self-limiting beliefs. The number one reason why I see people either say no or fail in any business, I'm not just going to say this business, is a lack of belief in themselves. So, which leads to the more you work on you, the more confident you will get, the more you're able to give that back and influence and inspire and empower other people.
I love that. Just got really loud.
It's like a planes here. I'm on the beach. I don't know what's happening there.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lital. I really appreciate it. I love your story, and I'm sure you've inspired some people by sharing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Kat.